Hello, good morning. Guys, I dyed my hair over the weekend and I really don't like it. I hate it more on camera, but yeah, sorry, I'm just like I'm just looking at myself. Yeah, so I have green hair now. I dyed it over the weekend and I'm not really loving it, but thankfully it fades. I really miss my blonde hair. I never thought I'd say that, but I do, and it's kind of like disheveled right now. Alright, anyway, enough about my hair. I'll wait a couple more seconds. I see the numbers climbing. Thanks for liking this video. Okay, I think I'll just start now. Sorry, my nose is like really itchy. I have allergies and I never realized that I had allergies until this year. So I'm dealing with that too. Alright, so today's topic for Healing Hacks is how do you know what part of you needs healing? And this is a really great topic. You know, I love talking about healing. I consider myself a spiritual healer. I want to see you guys heal. I want you to be the best that, thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you. I think it's a little out there and I'm not like too into it, but thank you so much. Before I go into today's live, let me introduce myself. My name is Justine. I'm a spiritual coach, healer, and mentor. I specialize in healing, but also in highly sensitive people and empathic healing and management and everything that has to go along with being an empath. I love talking about it. I'm an empath myself. It's my #1 pain point. I think it's really important that we talk about it and find solutions to everyday life. So that's kind of what my purpose is and my passion is on this earth. So if you ever want to talk about that, message me. I'm more than happy to talk about it. Okay, so going into today, how do you know when, what part of you needs healing? So there's actually 2 components to this. So the first component is, thanks for the hearts, and thanks, you guys are awesome. All right, so there's 2 components to this, right? So the first component of it is, this word that I use a lot, and I don't know if people really understand what it means, but the word conscious, right? So when I use the word unconscious versus unconscious, I mean a conscious person is self-aware, and that's actually the word I like to use today. So being conscious means being self-aware of your feelings, of your actions, of other people's perspectives, of worldly views, of pretty much just about anything. So being self-aware is just being very aware of yourself and other people's actions, right? I don't know if there's another way I can explain this. So once you become self-aware, you can be able to understand why you're feeling. So basically, if you're self-aware of how you feel, if you feel angry in this moment, you can break it down and say, well, why do I feel angry in this moment, right? So if we can break it down that way and be very self-aware of how we're acting and our behavior, what we're doing, we can, why we're feeling the way that we're feeling, we can break down our pain points, basically. We can break down what needs healing. What is the part of you? Hi, Dina. What is the part of you that needs the healing? And then once we're self-aware, that plays like a really big part. So you may be wondering, how do I become more self-aware, right? So I went through my conscious awakening, my spiritual awakening, by a, how do I say it? I don't like to, sometimes I use violent, but I always say I had a violent spiritual awakening because it came so fast and out of left field. So I had to learn because of my spiritual awakening. So I was, oh, thank you, Dina. I was just saying I don't really like it, but thank you. Yeah, so I was, I kind of, I always say that I didn't have a choice, right? Because my spiritual awakening, opened a new part of myself. I definitely became more woke, if you've ever heard that saying, and I reached a different consciousness level. So that's how it happened for me. But if you want to do it in everyday life, I'm also a crystal therapy. I'm certified in crystal therapy. So I have been studying a lot about crystals, and the two crystals that could really help with self-awareness are clear quartz, which is the one I'm wearing around my neck, is clear quartz, and then amethyst, right? So the clear quartz actually helps activate the crown chakra, which is the first, the one on top, which is the connection to something bigger than yourself. So if we can get that unblocked and we can get a better connection to the divine, that could actually help us see different perspectives, and be able to be more self-aware, right? And the amethyst helps with the third eye, which helps us see things differently, right? So that could also help us create self-awareness. So those are two crystals I would definitely recommend if you want to become more self-aware. Okay, so that's the first part of how do we know what parts of us need to be healed, right? If we're self-aware of our own emotions and why we feel the way we feel. Excuse me. And the second one, when you get self-awareness down, the second thing that is an indicator of what needs to be healed is what we get triggered by, right? Okay, so what does this mean? So what does triggered mean? How do I explain it? Okay, so if we're being triggered, that means it's something that we fly off the handle about, right? Like somebody, okay, I've gotten this a lot in my life. Here's an example. Like if somebody says that I'm crazy, and then I just fly off the handle and say, I'm not crazy, and just go off, start yelling at them. I was triggered by the "you're crazy" sentence or accusation, whatever. So I might want to I take that, right, and I break it down and I say, why was I so triggered by that? And then I look at it and I say, because I have fear around people thinking that I'm crazy. I sometimes really do think that I'm crazy, or those are actually just two good examples. Those are two things connected with the "I am crazy" sentence, or accusation, right? Because who's to say that it's true? If I was more healed in that aspect of my life, I would probably laugh it off, right? And here's a good example. Yesterday, I am usually triggered by someone in my family making fun of my spiritual beliefs, and they made a comment yesterday about my crystals, and I actually just laughed it off. And I didn't realize what I was doing at the time, but then I realized that I kind of just brushed it off, and I wasn't triggered, and I didn't start being nasty towards him. I just brushed it off. And that really made me think, and this is why I'm doing the live today, that if you think that you can't heal yourself, you totally can. And it might take a really long time, but it's possible. And it's possible with these two things: self-awareness and listening and paying attention to your triggers. So it's just so important, because it was Mother's Day yesterday, and it was important that I wasn't in a nasty mood, or I didn't snap back at him, and it was an inner peace that can't be bought. It was an inner peace that felt like bliss. And it was because, I've been working on my triggers and healing myself in all aspects of my life. So, does this make sense to anybody? Give me some hearts if this makes sense. If it doesn't, let me know. yeah, so self-awareness and listening to your triggers. So anytime that you get triggered, and I'll actually give you a challenge, like try it this week. Like if you get triggered this week and you fly off the handle about something, really look at it and ask yourself why you're getting upset about it. It's definitely something that's an unhealed part of yourself. And then you can talk about, and this is what I say to all my clients, 50% of healing is being self-aware of the behavior of the unhealed part of yourself. That's it. Because once you're aware of it, then you can start the work on it, right? So clarity is a huge piece in this. So, I challenge everybody this week to kind of see where their triggers are and to see if, they can identify where it comes from. And I'm actually really interested to find out if anybody does this. Let me know how it works out for you. I gave you the example of what happened to me yesterday. So, I would love to hear a story like that from you guys. So, all right. So I think I'm just going to wrap this up because I think I hit all the points. I think you guys understand what I mean. If you guys, like I said, want to message me and let me know if you've done this exercise this week, I would love to hear from you. Other than that, I will be back on Wednesday, and I'm trying to do the same time every week, 10. I'm a little late sometimes, but I will talk to you guys soon, and thanks for joining, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Okay, bye.